Hi, this is Judy Aronson, Samantha from Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter. And you are listening to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Review Podcast.
It says you're a dead fuck. What? A dead fuck? A lousy lay. You know? A dead peck. Oh, I see. Oh, don't hold it back from me, Doc. I can take it. Give it to me straight. I did not say it. The computer did. Yeah, well, there is no computer. Aha! And there's no Betty, either. And I'm a dead fuck.
In a world where zombies, ghosts, serial killers, and vampires all exist, welcome to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast.
Back everybody to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Review Podcast. This is episode 4, and tonight we're finally getting into my favorite slasher, Jason Voorhees. The film we're going to be reviewing is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, and this is probably, of the first 4, this is definitely the best one in my opinion. We're going to do a rankings list, maybe eventually down the road, who knows, you never know with us. But before we get into the actual film review, we're all going to give just a quick thought on Jason and our thoughts on the whole franchise. Like I said, Jason is my personal favorite. I remember being, like I said, in the first film we reviewed, Jason was the first movie I ever watched. That was the first horror villain that I remember seeing and being scared to death of as a little kid. So it'll always stick with me. And to me, the thing I like about Friday the 13th so much is it circles around just Jason, in my opinion, just how he kills people, the story. I love Halloween, but just all the family stuff, it's just kind of confusing. I've watched the movie several times and it still kind of confuses me a little bit. But yeah, I'm a big Jason stan. I know me and Mike argue about that on the timeline a lot, but I know you enjoy it.
I do.
Mike, what are your thoughts on Jason and Friday the 13th?
I have a strange relationship with the franchise because for whatever reason, it was the last one of like the slasher kings that I really got around to watching. And I like the character of Jason. I think he's badass. It makes a lot of sense to just have somebody who just freaking runs shot all over people. And I like the character of Jason. I think some of the movies in the franchise kind of take me out of Jason a little bit because I think in this franchise there's some there's no really. I said this before. There's no really bad films minus maybe 1 or 2, but there's no really great movie to me either. There's some good ones. There's some ones that are better than others, but there's no man, I can't rewatch this except one, which I won't give it away because we're going to have a ranking at some point. I know it. And so I think that kind of just none of the movies stick with me. They all kind of feel the same. They all kind of run together. And so there's no memorable thing for me to latch onto. And I watched it late. I don't have nostalgia for the franchise at all. And I got around to watching the first one and there is no Jason. And so it took me a little bit to even get around to continue to watching them. And so it was behind Michael Myers, behind Freddy Krueger, behind even Ghostface, and that I got around to Jason. But I just like to kind of ruffle your feathers. I do actually like Jason.
No, that is a good point about the first one. It doesn't have Jason in it. And personally, I don't really like the original too much, but we'll get into that down the road. Brian, what are your thoughts on Jason and Friday the 13th?
Well, I got into horror, like I said before, with Jason Goes to Hell back in 93. Jason, I'll agree, is my favorite mass murderer / slasher. But, his movies, I do admit, aren't up to par with the other franchises. And it's not even really close. I won't give away my favorite either, but I think that it is a great one. My favorite, I think, is a great one. So if we do ever get around to that ranking, I'll let you know then. But yeah, I am a fan of the Jason franchise, even if most of the movies, honestly, admittedly, aren't very good.
I swear your favorite better not be Goes to Hell.
It's not. Spoiler alert, it is not. Unless
Drew,
we have
what?
Adam, unless we're interviewing Adam Marcus, and then I might say it is, just to keep him on the show.
Drew, give us your quick thoughts, man.
Mine's pretty simple on this one. I love the I mean, I like the franchise. I don't love it. It's got some good movies. It's got some really bad movies. But the overall where it could have been should have been handled better the whole way through. But overall, I like it. It's one of the ones I'll watch maybe one or two of them if they show them up on TV. Other than that, it's about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I understand. See, I'm different from you. I personally like pretty much all the Jason movies except 1 and 2, but the rest of them they're all pretty rewatchable to me, and I just like how badass Jason is personally. I just to me his awesomeness and his brutality and his swag to me just trumps all of the corniness of it. But that's just me. Y'all
I think
ready
it's because you were a kid when you watched it. That's got to be why. It's
Oh, there's
swag.
definitely some nostalgic pull for you, man. There's nothing wrong with that either, by the way.
No,
Yeah, I've
No,
got some of
no,
that.
no.
I've got some of that too.
There's not. Yeah, y'all are probably right about that. So let's jump into the film review. Like I said, this is one of my favorites. The film just starts with the guys and girls from the camp from part 2. They're just sitting around the campfire. They're just talking about the legend of Jason's mom and Jason and what happened. They're just showing flashbacks of his mother being killed, and then Jason with the potato sack or whatever it is he has on his head in part 2 killing people. Then it flashes into
Hashtag Team Potato Sack over here. Oh, sorry.
hashtag potato sack.
Team Potato Sack.
And then it goes into some highlights from film number 3 where he's finally got the iconic hockey mask, and I personally love that mask, and I like the fact that it stays the same. Michael Myers. And
you can blame Billy Shat for that, okay?
Hey, don't talk about my shat. Talk about the shat.
But I think this is a good just way to open this movie up. What are you guys' thoughts on just this little quick campfire thing? Brian, go ahead.
I think it's a good way to open it. You don't need too much because once by the time you get to 4, if you did watch 1, 2, and 3 first, you're kind of you really don't need a repeat because every movie is basically a rinse and repeat. Some campers go to hey, spoiler alert, some campers go to the camp and they get killed. So, I don't really think you need to get too much into it. And I think that was a great way to open it up. I know that most people say 4 and 6, is the best in the Jason franchise. And I completely agree. I think this one's, is great. This is the one where they decided, okay, we're going to kill Jason. We're going to go out on top. No other franchise has really done that, and it's called the Final Friday, but, there's not very many of them that, they set the precedent to where the final or the last or Freddy's dead or whatever is definitely not the last one. But, this was the first one. So, they definitely got some intrigue going, I think.
Drew, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, well, the opening you couldn't have got to me any better than it is. You just kind of went in there and it kind of just like spit it out, put it down, and then it I think like we discussed in the group chat, like it just kind of made it its own beginning of that one movie. Like you could have not seen the first 3 and would have not been lost at all.
Right.
Watching this movie. If this is the first movie you decided to watch of the series, bam, you're good. You ain't missed nothing. So I think it was done well.
I'm glad you said that, Drew, because that's actually why 4 ranks so high for me, is because to me it's kind of like its own standalone. I don't need to watch the first 3 at all. I don't hardly ever, unless I'm doing a marathon, like I'm in the mood to, okay, let's just marathon all these movies, see how many I can do. I would prefer just starting with 4.
She said.
Hey. Actually, Jason doesn't say anything except in that one movie. So that sucks. Yeah, there's a movie in there. There's a movie. Which one is it where Jason speaks?
I don't remember him
I don't know. You
speaking.
have to ask Nico. This is his guy. This is his.
I don't remember him
The
speaking.
only film I know that he even makes a noises and goes to hell when he's getting shot, he grunts. I think that's the only thing.
That's the one.
Oh, that's not speaking. That's not speaking.
I'll
Yeah,
save my opinion for Jason Goes to Hell another time.
And
But
that movie sucks.
disagree.
But
Anyway, hold on.
yeah.
So
Go
real
ahead.
quick, yeah, just to piggyback off of Drew, I agree, man. It sets up the movie well without having to really know the plot line, the history of the characters. Like it does the work for you, and so I think it's a good opening scene. Clearly, like we've discussed before, compared to the other 3 movies we've watched, it's not a great opening scene, but for this particular franchise, it works.
See, I was gonna say I think the opening scene's honestly not. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Scream or
Well, no,
Halloween or.
Oh no.
those are iconic scenes.
But this is a good. Like Drew said, I can't remember what episode it was, but he said, "Give me a good opening scene. Don't start slow. This doesn't start slow by any means." But after the campfire, and I think there's a little quick credit or whatever, the film picks up at the end of 3 after he's got the axe in his head, and the paramedics and the ambulance show up, police. They put Jason on a stretcher, and they're taking him to the hospital. And the mortician on site, his name is Axel, and he is a grade A pervert. Him and Freddy Krueger would have got along just fine, I believe.
I think
He's
so.
He's attracted to the dead girl, the only other body he's got on site with him. But my man signs off on Jason's body. Then he starts, macking on the nurse. And he invites the nurse back to the body room or whatever, and they're watching the news. They're seeing about what happened with Jason. And she starts kissing him. They're getting into a little, they're about to, go to Pound Town, it looks like. Then Jason's arm and his hand falls from the stretcher and hits the girl's leg. And she jumps off of him. And Brian, Mike, do one of y'all want to do the impression of Axel whenever she jumps off of him?
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh man, you're Mr. Impression, man. I thought
Yeah,
I'm
I
not gonna
know.
take that away from you. Go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna let you hit it because you have you have what he actually says in front of you, don't you?
Where it says, "Holy Jesus, Christmas shit."
Holy Jesus, Christmas shit, fuck, shit,
God damn.
goddamn Christmas, whatever he said.
This man goes full Nick Saban gives up a 3rd and long on
Right.
after this girl jumps off of him. And she's like, "All right, the hell with this. I'm leaving. You should have put him in the casket or in the in the ice chest." So he puts Jason's body in the ice chest, and it shows that the door doesn't close all the way. And he goes back to watching these aerobic girls dancing. And he takes a quick drink of what he's drinking, and it spills a little bit. He leans forward, and then as he goes to sit back down, Jason grabs him by his head, cuts him with a medical saw, and then twists his head all the way around.
Freaking
Awesome
love this kill, man.
Awesome kill.
Such a good kill.
And I'm going to ask you guys' thoughts in just 1 second. And then after he kills Axel, he sneaks out into the where the nurse is. I think she's just messing with some medicine or whatever. And she thinks it's Axel sneaking up on her. And she turns around. She sees it's Jason. Jason, grabs her by the throat, pushes her against the wall, and just stabs right into her and cuts down her sternum and stomach. Pretty brutal kills to start this off. And it looks way better than film number 3. The graphics, the special effects, way better. Drew, what are your quick thoughts on these 2 opening kills?
Well, with Axel, I was just like, first when he was his drink hot? Was it cold? Because I couldn't tell. Because he put it to his lips, and then it's like he acted like it was hot, but there was no. I mean, I don't know. I kind of got lost in that. I was wondering. I was like, it doesn't look like it was hot, but
It's actually a good point. I'm gonna piggyback off that.
I'm always sometimes I'm picky on movies that I don't love as much as I do other ones, but it's just a little thing. But the hacksaw from behind, I was like, I watched it and I took notes the whole way through. This is the first one I actually took notes because I haven't seen it in so long. I was like, it was a bit lame, but tad bit surprising. So I was okay with that. And the nurse, when the nurse got, that's probably my favorite kill of the whole movie. That one right there. Just pulled me right in. Just gutted right up against the door.
Man.
Done. Interesting. Brian?
Well, first of all, this is like I put in my notes that this movie is the Super Bowl of false jump scares, and I know Nico's gonna have some comments about that since that's his pet peeve of horror movies too. But um, the first thing, I mean, for real, they put him in the morgue and left his hockey mask on. That to me like takes me out of it a little bit.
Oh man,
And
that sounds so picky, but I love it. I
and
freaking love it.
I mean, somebody's gonna take
come
that
on.
as a souvenir. It comes in there. You're taking that as a souvenir.
I like that. I like that you did it though. I
And
appreciate it.
I will say there's a little fact about the workout video that Axel watches. There's an actor in there. What's her name? Darcy DeMoss, and she'll actually play Nikki in Friday the 13th Part 6.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
dang.
I wrote that down myself, Brian. It's the girl who got her face smashed into the RV.
Yep.
That's who it is.
Spoiler
Mike,
alert.
yeah, spoiler alert. We got a lot of spoiler alerts going. Mike, what are your quick
Sorry.
thoughts on these two opening kills?
The hacksaw kill is awesome to me, where he turns his head around and cuts his throat. That's probably my favorite kill of the movie. Spoiler alert, but I freaking love that kill. It takes me. Look, I understand it being a little hokey, but I love the kill. It's so brutal. It's the first kill. I freaking love it, man. And also, um, I like the opening scene. I like the outburst, and I really like this scene. The way they kill the nurse is really good as well. So I don't have any problems with this. It kind of brings me right into the movie. Question for everyone: do you think the comedy in this movie is intentional or unintentional?
I think it's unintentional, honestly.
I think it's unintentional too because it's so good. Honestly, if I think they would have tried to write it, it would have just been cheesy.
It would have
Honestly,
Because
fell
that
flat.
outburst
Yeah, it
is
would have fell flat.
hilarious
I laugh my ass off at this movie a lot.
in a good way, though, not
yeah,
in
in a
like
good
that's
way.
cheesy
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
this is legitimately good
Agreed.
humor.
Yeah.
Because the outburst is great. I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, it's way better than Stewart.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Whoa. You are outside of your mind. Get out of here. Kiss my
Hey,
ass.
we're going to take turns throwing shade.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And Roy
After,
Taggart's a better coach than Jeremy Pruitt, so kiss my ass.
how many rings has he got?
Okay.
Anywho,
Oh.
this is a different podcast.
That's right.
After the opening scene at the hospital, this is where we're introduced to the Jarvis family. Trish and her mother, I think they're just going on a run. I think nothing major. Then they get back to the house, and now we're introduced to the second most famous character person in the Friday the 13th franchise, Tommy Jarvis. Tommy Jarvis, he's a little nerd kid, basically. He plays video games. He's like us, kind of. He plays video games. He makes like alien and scary monster mask. Yeah, he's just a big nerd like we are. He'd probably be on this podcast with us.
He's basically Brian all grown up.
That's right, with better masks too.
Yeah, his
No,
masks were pretty dang dope too.
Yeah, they were. They were like Henson graphics level. Like they were like Henson puppet level. How the hell, man?
Well,
This
that's like we got to give Tom Savini his due because I mean, and also I think he used this as a chance to show off his masks, and because I'm sure every one of those were designed by him and just he probably in his lab. But I mean Corey Feldman, Tommy Jarvis, he's at the top of his game at this point. He did Stand By Me, he did Goonies, he does Lost Boys a few years later, and I'm really glad, honestly, that we have Tommy Jarvis, even though. I've got a little fact about Feldman at the end I'll throw in there, but Tommy really becomes the Nancy / Alice from Elm Street, the Sydney, the Laurie Strode, and I think Six's version of the character is probably my favorite, but this and having a child face off against Jason is ballsy. It's a ballsy call by the writers, and I think Feldman pulls it off, and I don't think many people could.
I agree, man. He is great as
I love him. Yep.
the little kid hero.
I love it, man.
He is a badass little kid.
Is it bad that I actually forgot that Feldman did this? Is it bad? Like I was like, oh shit, that's right. Like it just jogged on me when I watched. I'm telling you,
Well-
it had been so long since I've seen this movie, so it like surprised me. I was genuinely surprised.
Part of the issue, and it's they're not the first franchise to ever face it, was they never could get the same people to play Tommy Jarvis.
Mhm.
And so when you watch, I watch 6 more than I watch 4.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, Corey Feldman, first Tommy Jarvis. and he's freaking awesome, man. I love his portrayal here. I think it's great. It's like you said, this is like the not the peak of his acting as far as his child acting, but very close, man. He was really good, and I really bought into the character.
I agree. After we're introduced to the Jarvis family, now we cut to the the teens, the victims in this
Hammers.
movie.
The
Yeah,
horn dogs.
they're all in a car. They're driving to their lake house. They stop along the side of the road, and there's just a little. They got Pamela Voorhees' tombstone. Right. I don't know why it's right there by the side of the road. Does that make any sense at all?
And it looks brand new. I got that written down. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
First time on screen, they revealed her entire name,
No, I didn't know that.
her full name.
Yeah, I also wrote down there, why does it look brand new?
It did. It did.
I
look
wrote
brand
that
new.
same thing too, Brian. I was like, why does it look brand freaking new?
By the
You know,
way, and
Go
we're
ahead,
gonna
Mike.
get into this as it goes, but I have it wrote down here on my phone. This is the first time where you're not like, oh, all these counselors are at camp or all these kids are at camp. No, these teenagers are literally going to this cabin to all fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of the whole point of it ends up becoming the Friday the 13th trope, which I actually think is great. And this is the best version of that, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree with that 100%, man. This is what makes 4 so good compared to the 3 before.
Agreed.
They're all the same, but this one does it right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's 100% true. They get the formula right in this movie.
I think the only reason they even have this scene is just to show us how great Crispin Glover is and how awkward and weird he is. He's talking about this girl that don't like him, and he's just. I just think Crispin Glover is awesome.
Yeah, he is, man. He's so good.
When he goes, the computer says, boop, 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 boop. You're a dead fuck.
Oh yeah, well that's Teddy, Dan. That's Teddy. Teddy's my favorite on here. Not George McFly.
Yeah, no,
but
Teddy's mine too.
Teddy cracks my ass up, man. That you dead fuck. That makes me laugh every time.
Still want that on a good shirt.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Teddy
say
and Crispin
there's
are
even
great.
yeah, for sure. I was gonna say there's even a line or there's even a section in the movie later when he starts dancing that I yelled, "God, you such a dead fuck" at the TV.
My favorite Teddy scene is coming. It's later on, but when he punches that damn bear, it's so funny to me. But after we're just in the Jeep or whatever with these kids, and then when they're driving alongside the road and they see a hitchhiker, she looks like a hippie peace type person. She needs a ride, but they're like. The guys in the back, like, we ain't got no room. They drive past her. She has a sign that says "fuck you" or whatever. And I don't know why, but the film felt the need to show us a woman eating a banana and squeezing a banana very intently. She takes a bite of her banana, and Jason goes behind her and stabs her through the neck. And it just zooms in on her mouth, spitting a banana out, and then she's squeezing the banana to death.
We watched this woman eat this banana.
Slowly slides down, like he's curving, like the weight of it's too much.
Why in the hell did we have to watch this woman eat that banana for as long as she did? I know it's not that long, but it felt long.
Anticipation. There's building anticipation with it, maybe.
I guess.
Yeah, I never really understood the whole concept of showing us eat a banana.
I think they could have killed off with that one and just been like, okay, yeah, they could have left that one out.
They could have just showed us the stab through the throat and then just left it. But there we go. Eat your fruits, people. You need 5 servings a day.
Very underwhelming kill. Very underwhelming.
I agree with that. After this banana kill, we're back at the Jarvis house. Their dog Gordon shows up, so it's like scratching at the door. Then they open the door up, and then that's when they realize the teens show up to the lake house. I guess it's like right across the lot or the street from them. Then, nothing really major happens here. Just moving all their pack, their luggage and all that crap inside. Then this is a funny scene with Feldman. My man Tommy is going to sleep, and he looks out his window, and I don't know which teens it is. I can't remember. But they're giving him a little bump and grind in the window, and he is He's acting like any little kid, any little male kid would.
Right.
He is seeing this girl take her bra off, her shirt
Yes.
off, and this dude is humping the bed. He is like, hell yeah, boy! This is Cinemax at 11:30, boy. And then his mom walks in, she sees it, and she shuts the blinds. I'm like, why would you do that to that young man? I understand, but it's like, don't cock block this young man. He's already a nerd. You
That's
should be
right.
happy. You should be happy he's liking that. What are y'all's thoughts, real quick, on this scene, Brian?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's every boy at that
I was
age
gonna
if
say.
presented with that exact same scenario.
Yeah.
And I don't know about y'all, but I could feel the disappointment as the mom was closing the blinds. It was just like, it was so disappointing. I felt for the kid.
I agree. Drew, what you think about that?
Yeah, you're top to all of it right there. Just I could totally see myself doing that. Or even my buddies would be telling me, hey man, saw this she just started taking off her clothes, man. I was pre behind the window. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that.
I agree with everything said. I don't have a whole lot to add except for this is gonna be weird. I'm gonna put this on the pod though. I watched this movie, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. The first time, and I've rewatched it since. And the first night after I watched it, I went to sleep and had this scene as a dream. Shows you where my mind is at. Anyways, please go ahead.
Hey, it'd be like that sometimes. This
It
movie has
does.
quite a bit of sexual innuendo and nudity in it, because the very next scene, all the teens are heading down to the lake, and this is where we're introduced to some twins on a bike, and they go down there with them on bikes, excuse me, and they all go for a little skinny dipping session, and my man Tommy and Trish kind of pull up on him, and there's some more nudity going on. My man Tommy is loving life again. He is like, oh hell yeah, we get to see him again naked. He's just, he's a little kid liking breast, and he's
Right.
living his best life, I
Absolutely,
guess.
man.
Then Trish is hating. She's like, turn around, Tommy, turn around. And they invite her in. She's like, nah, we're good. But here, I did write down this, Brian, because I know you brought up some jump scares. This right here, I actually noted it. I wrote down it's a shitty jump scare. The girl's like the girl's like walking back to the car. She forgot something, I guess. And the camera's just watching her, and she's walking. Then it just has like a jump scare, and all it is like a tree limb, and she walks into it. I was like, really? Like
Yeah.
this is what we're doing? Brian, do you have anything about that jump scare wrote down? Because I'm sure you did.
Well, I got a little bit of pet peeve that I need to rant on here. So if Drew or Mike want to go here first.
No,
All I want to say.
Listen, I have nothing.
All I want to say, and then you can rant all you want. Ready? Quick thought. Friday the 13th is probably the one franchise. I know there's like comedies and stuff to do it, but like without the TNA, it wouldn't work.
Oh, I agree.
It makes it it's a big part of the franchise. And again, in this movie, they get the TNA better than all the other movies in the franchise, in my opinion. So I just want to say, I think it's such a big part of the franchise, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think it adds to it for whatever reason. Okay, Brian, let's hear it.
No, so this is the first time when Sarah's going back to get the car. This is the first time that you actually hear the on the whole sound, and that's what I want to just random for a minute, because I don't know how much you guys are on Friday the 13th, sites or here or there, but you always have these people that will correct you or correct other people, and I just want to slap them so Manfredi, the guy that wrote the score, revealed in a documentary called His Name is Jason, that he actually used Pamela's "Kill Her Mommy" and distorted it till we got what we have now.
Yes.
So they'll always correct you and be like, no, it's ma ma ma. But I mean, let's get serious. It never ever sounds like that at all. And I said, plus it's like, it's not dialogue, it's a noise. And what the hell is the correct way to spell it? So just shut up. If you're the type of people that correct somebody that says that, just shut up.
You know what?
So,
My
So going back
to the convention in February, we're gonna have to watch out for Brian. He's just gonna deck somebody, telling them that.
I'm gonna wear a shirt that says,
Going back to episode 1 when we're recording and I make that noise, you making the face at me that you made makes more sense now. I could tell that had a trigger with you.
yes, that is
I
a
can
trigger.
tell.
I'm just gonna have ha 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 written on my shirt at the convention.
Oh, and by the way, real quick, they used the hell out of it in this movie.
Yeah, they do.
It's its own character. It's kind of like the Halloween music, but there is a point where I'm like, okay, every scene needs to. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. Just a small nitpick.
No, that's fair. After they find the kid skinny dipping, they get to flipping my notes real quick. They're driving off, and of course, I don't know if this is another false scare or not, but it kind of is to me. Like they have car trouble, of course. This is when we're introduced to Rob, the hitchhiker, or the hiker in the woods, and of course he knows how to fix everything because he's the man's man. And she is wanting him. It looks like. Drew's shaking his head. What's going on, Drew?
This scene was garbage. I was like, I noticed like it just everything was expected. Like they projected what was gonna happen. Like you just knew, and it was just like, go figure. That's all I was gonna say about it. I hated this part.
That's fair. And the next scene is there's another jump scare, and the next scene is like, oh my God, Jason, I love you so much, but there's so many fake jump scares right now. They take Rob back to the cabin with them, and Tommy is showing him all his mask and all that. Then Rob is looking at one. Then Tommy just grabs him by the neck with I don't know one of his toys or whatever, and it has a jump scare. It's like, oh my gosh, why would you do that right now? And do y'all got any quick thoughts on this? Or you just want to keep going?
Well,
Keep going.
I mean, isn't it like super weird for some weird guy that you just met? By the way, Tommy calls him like right out on you can't be hunting for bears. So that kind of like lays a little bit, like there's a little bit more to Rob or whatever. But super weird. That's this guy you just met. You take him back to your house and you let him go up to the room with this little boy. And it's just, I don't know, man. That whole scene just rubs me the wrong way. I'm just like, what the hell's wrong with these people?
Hey, Trish just wanted the D, it looked like, but I understand.
By the way, Trish in this movie. Well, all right then.
Hey, the female cast in this film
Oh,
ain't
it's
bad.
great.
That
It's
cast
awesome.
it really well.
They did a great job with the
Really
female
well.
cast.
Hey, this is episode 4, so Trish is going to be Mike's favorite final girl.
In the Friday the 13th franchise, she is.
No, we'll get to that later. I do not like Trish personally, in some parts. All right, I got a highlighted note that I wrote down right now because this is probably one of the most memorable scenes of the whole movie coming up. We are introduced to Crispin Glover and his amazing dance skills. What do you guys think about that? Right now, all they're doing, the teens are partying, drinking. Everyone who sees this movie is a fan of this franchise. They know about Crispin Glover and his awesome dance moves.
Yes. If you don't have this as a note, then or even a standout of this whole movie, then you didn't watch.
If this video ever makes it onto any platform, they're gonna see me doing this, but they know what's up.
It was great.
My man is saucing on that floor.
I freaking love it, man.
With the
Again,
hair whipping, he was like the original Bieber with the Bieber hair, man.
unintentional comedy, but it was awesome. I freaking love this scene.
I agree with that. It's unintentionally funny. He's what Stu should have been. Anywho.
Anyway, Stu's better. It's fine.
Now we're getting back into some Jason Voorhees action. Paul and what's that girl's name? I wrote it down. That's not that important. Paul and his girlfriend.
Well, see, that's the other thing about this movie is like, they actually you spend a little bit more time, guys. So you care about them a little bit more than any of the previous Friday the 13th. But like, I had a really hard time remembering these people's names. I don't think we. Honestly, I wish we kind of would have spent a little bit more time with them, to be honest with you. Before
I was gonna say,
I just got dark hair. Didn't know in my notes. Dark hair.
I've got her name wrote down. I watched the shout out to my man Dead Meat James on the Dead Meat YouTube channel. I watched his kill count just to get the people's names, honestly.
Right.
Let me find it. I wrote it down. Harpoon death.
Dude, I had to
Her name is
research
Sam. Her name
names.
is Sam. Her
Sam,
name is
that's
Sam.
it.
Yeah.
No idea.
These characters are still more fleshed out than some of the other Friday the 13th characters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Most definitely. So you can at least invest in them somewhat.
They're going skinny dipping. She jumps in the raft. And I want everyone who's listening right now to take note of this. Jason swims out in the water to kill her.
Yeah,
Everyone
Silent
listening right
stealth
now.
mode too.
I want
the worst
everyone
kill.
to remember me saying this right now. Jason swims in the water intentionally, not scared of being in the water, and kills this girl. Does everyone hear me say that? He jumps in the water.
How
He's
deep
not
was it?
scared of
How
the
deep was it?
water. I don't know. It was deep
Ronnie.
enough to where he couldn't stand up.
Ronnie, you missed that one.
Ronnie, he swam in the water. He was not scared of the water. Anywho, I'm not gonna keep harping on that. But
Hey, man, it's canon now, brother.
Ronnie.
Hey, but real quick, on that scene, this is my least favorite kill.
Really?
Yeah, to spoil it. For me, it's a little goofy. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's a little goofy for me. You didn't
That's
like the
fair.
How is
hacksaw
it goofy?
kill.
Like compared.
You didn't like the
How is
hacksaw
it
kill.
goofy?
It's goofier than the hacksaw kill.
I mean, the girl
hacksaw,
just
How's the hacksaw kill one of your favorites, and then this one's goofier than the
Because
hacksaw?
it's so brutal and sudden, just rips her
So
freak.
I
Her
actually,
head.
I didn't like. It's not a great kill, but I actually liked it because I like something was gonna happen. You just didn't know exactly how it was gonna happen, when it was gonna happen. And it's like bam, underneath the boat.
I don't know,
Booyah.
man. Didn't do a lot for me. I don't know.
after it shows Jason stabbing the girl through the raft. It's just a quick stab through the gut or whatever. And it goes back to the teens partying. And this is where my man Crispin, aka Jimmy, he takes he takes a twin upstairs and he's throwing the Mac sauce on her. And my man Ted is trying to flirt with the other twin, and he's like kind of like me. He's getting curved, and she throws the bear at him. Then this is one of the funniest scenes to me. Ted just looks at his bear, is like, "Fuck you, bear," and just punches it, and I die laughing every single time at this part. Brian, let me hear your quick thoughts on Ted real quick, because I know you said he was your favorite. What's your thought on him punching that bear?
Hey man, well first I'll say Paul is slaying him, man. He had that Sam girl. Then
I was gonna say.
he took my boy Teddy's girl, and then, his old girl went and got killed. So he's my boy Teddy's like, I guess he's smoking weed. I think at this point, right? I mean he's got.
Yes.
Hey, so
I guess. Go
so
ahead.
Brian, fun fact about that: the actor during his death scene, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, but during his death scene, the actor that played Ted was so freaking stoned in real life they had to reshoot the scene a couple times because he was paranoid.
I did read that.
By the way, I
But,
love the teddy bear line. Want to hug teddy bear? Oh, I love it. Anyway,
he's great. He's great. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jason's stealth mode this movie, man. I mean, it's a little bit more believable. The water kill that you don't like is a little bit more believable, I think, if it was whenever he's zombie Jason. But I mean, it's
sure.
cool. It's really cool nonetheless. And I mean, honestly, they're just amazing practical effects, both of them.
Agree 100%. Paul, he goes back to find what we say her name was, Sam. See, that is the biggest problem I have. It's so hard to remember these characters' names. He swims out and he finds Sam dead, so he's swimming back to the shore. Then all of a sudden he gets harpooned in the groin area.
Oh,
Yeah, terrible way to go.
This looks
why did I
horrible.
laugh? I laughed at this kill. I legit laughed at this kill.
Man,
Laugh
terrible.
through the pain, my friend.
I
He's-
legit laughed.
And Jason, he's a little extra on this kill. He shoots him in the groin with a harpoon. Then he like lifts him up in the air just to what was like Vlad the Impaler on him. Just like you feel that, don't you? You don't take it a little bit more painful. It was like that. I don't know. That's not my favorite kill, but that's the way I'd least like to go out. You know what I'm saying? Whew. Do y'all got any quick thoughts on the death, or y'all just want to keep rolling?
I'm with you on laughing at the kill. I was gonna say I chuckled at this kill. I definitely did.
Y'all want to keep rolling? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep rolling.
Rob the hiker, he's just walking through the woods. He goes to the tent. I wrote down this is just it's not a false scare, but it's just a false scene that makes you feel tense. That's one thing I don't like about this movie. It's got a lot of falseness to it, and they should have got rid of that crap.
Yeah.
Rob's
They made-
got some unmatched hair game in this movie. I mean, like that Joker's been hiking. That Joker's been hiking for days and for God knows how long, and his hair is just William
Oh
Shatner.
man.
William Shatner.
Way
was
before Axe hair gel too, man.
Now, all right, this is where the other twin who's not feeling Teddy, she goes upstairs to tell her other twin, "Hey, I'm about to split. You ready to go?" She's like, "Just leave without me." So she goes outside to get on her bike, and of course it starts raining. And I usually ain't really a fan of off-screen kills, but this one is done well to me.
Right.
She's going to get on her bike, and then the lightning strikes, and Jason like stabs her through like the core, like her core, her stomach, chest area, with I guess like a metal beam or pole or something. And then because this is when Jason starts getting brutal. He stabs her, and then he throws her against the house.
Mhm.
I think this is a pretty cool kill for
Like throwing
off-screen.
Yeah,
mud
it
against
is.
the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
This is an example of a good off-screen kill, and we're going to get an example of a horrible off-screen kill in a few minutes.
I was gonna say they do both in the same movie. They're
Within
done
like
really
10
well. Yeah.
within like 10 minutes of each other. You guys got any quick thoughts on this
No,
real quick?
no.
Nope.
Just to back you up, I really do enjoy this killer. It's not my favorite, but it's close. Just because its effectiveness of being theater of the mind is really, really, really good. In about 10 minutes, they shit all over that with something so terrible.
Yeah, it's actually right. It's next to my notes actually. Now we flash back to the Jarvis house. Mama Jarvis is walking around. The power's out. She's calling for her kids, like any mom would. She can't find them, so she goes outside. Then all of a sudden, she's just walking around. Then all of a sudden, we just get a lightning flash, and she screams, and she's dead. Bruh, really?
Same.
The
It's like
lamest kill, man.
it's like, did the mom's agent just say, "Hey, we can kill her, but just don't show it"? Like how did I just don't understand how that got
Maybe to
approved.
save money. Again, I don't know if we mentioned it, but this is kind of they did this whole movie on a really small budget.
And they had a lot of kills in it too. So
Right. So
Yeah, that
maybe the budget got tight. I don't know. I feel like Tom Savini probably could have whipped something up better than that, but man, it's so frustrating because there's a lot of really cool kills in this movie. Even the ones I don't like, I'm okay with because they're done well effects wise. This is hot steam and garbage here, man.
hot garbage. Like even the previous two movies, they showed just basic stabs through the stomach or something.
Right.
Show us something. Don't just do it all off
I
screen.
mean,
Man.
Friday the 13th is not known for off-screen kills. Like it is show you everything, and so this kind of shocks me. I know they had the one I just praised. It was really well done, but this is, oof, toughy.
And then after this scene, this is where Trish and Tommy show back up to the house, and they can't find their mom. Tommy's he's chilling at the house, and Trish goes out and looks for the mom. And then she finds that same tent that Rob was looking at, or it's Rob's tent. She gets in the tent. She's just waiting out the rain, I guess. And I wrote down that this is a jump scare, but it's not really a false jump scare to me, because if
Right.
you were Rob and you saw someone in your tent, you'd probably be pissed off.
Yeah.
And if you're Trish, you would get scared of just somebody showing up to the tent with a machete. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't really think this is a jump scare. Brian, did you have anything read about a jump scare right here, or are you just?
No,
I
I mean, no.
I know you're
my
gonna call
next-
me out on all of them for everything I said throughout these podcasts.
No. Go ahead.
All right. After it shows that, now we're back to Jimmy and Tina, the twin, in bed, and they're just talking, nothing major. And Jimmy goes downstairs. I wrote down, this is my best kill. Jimmy goes downstairs. He's Ted, where's the corkscrew? That's
Yeah.
probably another. That's the dance scene, and this scene are his two
Same
favorite
exact.
part. You wrote it down too.
Same
Yeah.
exact thing. Same exact thing.
And then he finds the corkscrew. You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
He
A little bit of help.
he puts his hand on, I think it's a cutting board,
Yep.
and he catches it right to. Jason shoves the corkscrew right through his hand, and he doesn't scream, make any noise. I guess it just was so fast, and he jerks his head around and catches a meat cleaver right to the face. That's
Boom.
I'll go ahead and spoil it. This is my favorite kill of the movie. What's
I
you
love
guys'
it.
thoughts on it?
Love this kill, man.
Boom.
Again,
Dead fuck.
dead fuck. Yeah, you're
You
a
know,
dead fuck.
I'd probably get that shirt, but I don't know if I could ever wear it around my
I'm
mom.
about to say I couldn't wear it, man. I can't think
Yeah.
of anywhere I'd wear it.
If we could
So,
ever get just Crispin Glover to sign them for us, that would be such a wonderful thing.
I put that bitch in a shadow box. It's on.
Drew, you got any thoughts on this kill?
Oh no, it's definitely one of my favorites in here. I loved it. Loved it. Just like, where's the corkscrew? Where's the corkscrew? Bam! Jason says, here.
Here's a corkscrew. You don't need to be drinking anyways. This is where the twin that Crispin hooked up with. She's just walking around the room. She looks out the window, and she notices that both of the bikes are still there. She's like, I thought my twin left.
Uh-huh.
She's starting to get some feeling in her, and she's walking around. She's looking out windows. She's looking out this window. Then she gets another window, and somehow Jason got from the kitchen all the way to the windowsill that quick, and he breaks through the window and throws her out onto a car, and it crashes it. I thought this was a pretty good kill too, personally.
I mean, it's not like in the top of this movie. It's not even in my top 3 or 4. But again, to me, there's only one real stinker in this movie, and that's the off-screen kill we talked about. So no, I enjoy this. I enjoy the scene. I actually think the tension in this scene is good.
It is.
Right.
I agree with that.
So I think it's a really good scene, and the kill is really good as well.
Look, I'm gonna flash forward to film number 7. This throw out of a window onto the car is so much better than the one in film number 7, where he just throws the girl out from the window and she just falls on the ground. She just falls like there's nothing to it. I think this kill is very good for just a throw out of the window.
I think so too.
Brian, you got anything on it?
I had a note about how Sarah was watching the porn with that. I found out his name was
the old school porn. You talking about going
I mean,
into the old school
I found
porn.
out his name was Doug later, but I got written down. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Has he even had a line in this movie at all up until this point? I don't think he has at all. And the dude goes up and gets in the shower, and then Sarah's already telling him that thinks she's in love,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, so like I said, after he throws the girl out of the window, we flash down to Ted. He's watching some black and white porn on projector.
Where the hell did he get that from?
And nobody's hearing any of this shit. Like, this shit just got thrown on a damn car.
Yeah, through a window, a wooden window at that. Not just any window, but a wooden style window. That's gonna make the most damn noise breaking.
On top of a car that got crushed too. It's like, do y'all not hear nothing going on?
Well, I mean, he probably was baked out of his freaking mind.
Yeah, Ted was definitely high. And he's watching the porn on the projector. He's trying to get close to the screen, all pervy, because he's like feeling it or whatever. I guess he's probably about to go to a spank session. He gets close to the projector. Then it's like the projector starts like skipping or whatever, like the film's all messed up. And he's looking at it. Then all of a sudden we get, I think it's just a butcher knife right to the back of the head. Yep. And that's a good kill, but what makes the kill so good to me is just how he's falling down the screen, and it's just cutting the screen all the way down. That's a Tom Savini shout out to my man. Y'all got any quick thoughts on this?
I was gonna say they execute that kill really well. It's not so much the kill, it's the execution of how they use the camera, and I thought that was done really, really damn awesome.
Yeah, it was spot on. Spot on.
Yeah, it takes a little bit to get the kills going, but now it's just Jason's just all right.
I'm about to say this is peak Jason right here. Like, this is really, really, really what Jason should always be doing.
Yeah, and like Brian said, now I just wrote down Jason. He's up in the shower. He crushes the dude's head with his bare hands. Just brute strength.
That shower scene, the sex shower scene, was god awful. Like, I mean, I'm trying to think back, like when I was that age. Do you think no? There was no tender, especially if it was the one timer. There was no tenderness ever. That was wham bam, thank you ma'am, in the shower. Ain't no singing, let's get out this thing. They made it. It was just too much. I didn't believe it. I'm just like, these teens are just gonna be in the shower like the 35-year-old mom and dad. You know what I mean?
Like Barry White's playing or something.
Rose petals on the bathroom floor.
Well, and you'll talk about how brutal it is. Like, Ted White is the guy that played Jason in this. And I really think that he, sets the precedent, as I think for like later Jason actors like Kane Hodder and them, that, I mean, look, Jason's brutal. He's badass and he's here to kill you, period. And Ted White's actually, he was like old during the filming of this movie, so he actually got around pretty dang good for a almost 60-year-old man.
You want me to get my
he's the oldest actor to ever portray Jason. Go
you
ahead,
want me to
Mike.
get my hot take about that now, or should I wait till we're done reviewing the movie?
What, Jake? What about what? The kill or
About
Jason?
Ted White's Jason.
Oh, go ahead.
I think he does a better job than Kane Hodder of portraying Jason.
Well, I think they're playing two different types. I mean,
Yeah, the
Kane
styles are
Hodder's trying to
I
play
just love his portrayal in this movie of Jason. And maybe it's just this one movie. Maybe you're right. I guess technically Kane Hodder's playing zombie Jason,
right.
and this is kind of a different portrayal. But man, I am all in on this portrayal of him. I freaking love it.
He did great. I think he definitely set the precedent.
Right.
I agree with that. I like both of them. Like you guys said, Zombie Jason's he's different. He's not
Right.
he's Super Saiyan Jason. If you
Right.
want to go Dragon Ball Z nerd on him. Sarah walks in. She sees his dead body hanging through the shower door. She's trying to run out the house, but the doors like locked or jammed or locked or whatever. Then all of a sudden, this is a kill I did not see coming. How it happens. A freaking axe is thrown through the door and it hits her right in the gut and chest area. I was like, oh, shoot, okay. My man Jason's like a Call of Duty camper. He's just waiting on her to run down. What do you guys think about that kill real quick?
Well, it was definitely respectable of Jason to go move old no-name Doug's body and pin him to the wall for her to see and start running. He's definitely peak set up the bodies in quotations in this one. There's no doubt about it.
I agree.
He has
finally getting the smash. Imagine that, man. You hate to see that. You get the smash and then your face is smashed.
Well, if you really want to know, we can go back to Randy's rules. You cannot have sex. Thank you, Randy, from Scream, one of the goats.
Oh, Jesus.
After Sarah gets killed with the axe, we're back to Rob and Trish. They're back at the house with Tommy. And then it just goes to outside. Jason, he just the phone line, the box or whatever, he breaks that off the wall. So they're trying to call the police, but they can't get no signal or whatever. Then Rob and Trish walk across the street to the teen's house, and they find it, the power's out, it's blacked out, it's dead quiet, and they're like, all right, something's going on because these kids should be partying. They ain't asleep by now. Then they go to the basement to check the fuse box. Jason kills a dog, Gordon. Shout out to PETA. Don't watch this movie. And then Tommy just begins reading like newspaper clippings and all that about Camp Crystal Lake massacres, about what all Jason happened. Then this is where Rob is still downstairs looking in the basement, and Trish discovers she hears a shower running. She checks it out, and she sees the body. Like Brian said, the body is nailed to the wall. He's just Jason's interior decorating now. This is where I think Trish is absolutely stupid. She is a good final girl, except this little brief scene to me. This is where Jason comes from the basement and he starts attacking Rob. And I don't know what he's killing him with, but he's just yelling, "You're killing me! You're killing me!" And this is funny, and it shouldn't be.
Oh, it's hilarious!
It's hilarious, man.
Hilarious.
I'm crying, laughing at this guy. "You're killing me! Oh God, you're killing me!" And she's just standing there watching, and he's yelling, "Run!" And she's just standing there watching. I'm like, bitch, if you don't run like he's telling you to do. She's just a dumb final girl in this moment. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all I really have to add is, I'm repeating myself again here, but unintentional comedy. Awesome, though. It works so well. You're killing me.
It's so funny to me. It's so
freaking
funny.
good, man.
I covered his eyes during the naked parts, but my 9-year-old son watched it and just started dying, laughing at that part too. I mean, he's killing me. He's killing me. He was dying.
And Trish finally, she actually leaves the basement, but she goes back down to look, and Jason's not there. Then she grabs him, like she grabs her leg through the stairs or whatever.
Oh,
and she like hacks him or whatever with a machete. Oh my! This scene, Trish is just like, what are you doing? But
So let me ask you a question on this scene right here. Did y'all notice, like, when they were trying to like barricade it? Did you notice how far they actually pushed the dresser over?
Oh, I was like, they're not gonna get it more over. Like it was so frustrating.
I was
like,
yeah, let's not push it all the way over.
Right.
For, like, for a here's Johnny moment for Jason at the door.
This will be fine. This will work just fine. Just this amount that we pushed it over right here. No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, Trish, after she leaves the basement, she's trying to leave the house, but Jason like nailed this guy's body across the doorway, so she can't. For some reason, instead of just like crawling beside him, she breaks through a window. It's like, what are like Trish like really pisses me off in like this little brief moment of time, but she redeems herself. I'll give her some credit. She redeems herself in a few minutes. So she gets back to her house with Tommy. And they like start nailing like the doors closed and all that. And Jason, like the OG he is, instead of just breaking the door down, he takes a body and just throws it through the window.
Oh, I love it, man.
And then Jason grabs little Tommy Jarvis, and this is where Trish starts redeeming herself. She just takes a hammer and starts waylaying on Jason's head, and she finally lets her go. Then he chunks the hammer at her. Blah blah blah. They run up the stairs, and this is what Drew was just talking about.
I'm sorry, I was a little premature on that one. My bad.
No, you're good because it really is stupid. They push this dresser in front of the door, but they leave like what, a foot of the door open, exposed
easily.
Then Jason, like he is, he starts breaking a hole in the door, and he sticks his head through. And I want to know Drew's thoughts on this because he did not like Stu's death in Scream with the TV. What'd you think about Trish slamming that TV on his head?
I better not hear any of you fuckers give this kill credit. I better not.
Well, I told you I liked Stu's death.
Okay.
It's not going to change my opinion on the lameness of it.
Thank you. That's fine.
It's not. I'm pretty. I'll stick with my my original thoughts on those things. Those kind of ones are kind of lame to me, but I understand why they're in there too. I mean, it's different. This is what. When was this? When was this? 19 what?
84.
84. So I was 1 year old. TVs were like a hot new commodity back then. So I can
Scream came out in
understand killing them was like
96.
your most important possession. My TV, it's the most important thing I have in my house right now.
Important in 96 too. What the hell?
No!
96?
There's a big difference in time. But I still say it's still a lame kill. I'm not changing my
Oh,
mind.
it's not a great kill. No, I'm arguing for no reason. I just don't want to hear this one hyped. That's all I'm saying.
This is something I just came to mind that doesn't make sense. She couldn't like crawl beside a body, but she could just yank a TV up with her bare hand.
Right.
Like,
I know.
Like that's not like a flat screen light TV like we have now.
Oh, hell no. That's
a
easily
TV in
80
84.
pounds.
That thing weighed more than that.
Yeah, that thing was heavy.
Right.
But and then they slam the TV on Jason's head and he falls over. Everyone knows he's not dead. But instead of just like jumping over and running, like they just like the detective walk right beside him. It's like, what?
They sneak walk beside him.
The sneak walk beside him. It's like, oh my.
I kind of liked it.
I know. I mean, like literally, my notes were like,
comedy, I guess.
is he sleeping? No,
Right.
you dumb bitch, run.
And I actually got written down that's I actually thought it was pretty. It's a stupid in theory that you're going to walk over them, but I thought that them and Ted did a very good job acting. Like it looked realistic at least. When he got up, and then it followed him, around the stairs and kind of gave you that shot. It actually looked like, hey, there's a little bit of a standoff here, and it actually looked realistic to me. So I'll give him some credit on some acting on that part.
Yeah, it's way better acting than Annie in Halloween when she does anything basically. And so this is Trish's idea. She runs back to the teen's house. She runs up the stairs, which Sydney said not to do in Scream. And she realizes like, oh crap, I'm stuck. So this is her grand plan. She runs and like jumps through the second story window onto the ground, and Jason looks down on her. I don't know is this a Halloween reference or is it just there to be there? I don't know. But
it could be a Halloween. Mike. I think it's a little bit of a Halloween reference. Like I don't even know if it's intentional, but it sure as hell plays like a Halloween reference.
I mean, it might be. They had the whole Jack Nicholson thing, going through the door just before that. But I wrote down. I mean, They did not do a good. After giving them credit for the acting before this one, they did a terrible job on not showing the stunt man jumping out the window because his wig like kind of falls off as the
I know, I
the
noticed
ground
that.
gives way. I mean, you can totally tell that's not that actress.
Yeah. And this is where she, she's hurt. She's hobbling a little bit, but she runs back to her house. And this is where Tommy goes upstairs and starts shaving his head to look like young. Look at my dumb self in my notes. I wrote down young Michael. Shake my head. How disrespectful. How disrespectful I am.
Look at Michael smiling over there. Look at Michael.
This is now Trish and Jason. Go ahead.
Trish just weirdly calmly walks back in the house like, hey, I mean, do you forget that Jason's like after you? That's just
It had to be CTE. Had to be CTE.
It had to be.
She had something.
Yeah, she's just waiting and like right inside the doorway, like with the machete for like. I guess she just expects him to be there. She swipes at him and she misses. This is actually a cool visual to me. Is where she like hits him right in the hand and it cuts his hand in half with a machete.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that special effect. Shout out to Tom Savini again. He deserves a lot of credit for making this movie
He
good.
deserves an Oscar for this movie. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's chasing her through the house, and he gets on top of her. And this is where Tommy. This is easily the most memorable part of the movie for me. Tommy runs downstairs with his bald head, and he's looking at Jason. Jason, Jason's looking at him, and he's just looking at him. And then Jason walks to him. I wish they would explain that more. Is like, does Jason just have like is he just like triggered by like that stuff? I guess like with his mom and him as a little kid. But Trish gets up, she grabs the machete, and I guess this is cool for the movie, but it's stupid to me. All she does is like knock his mask off, so we see his ugly face.
Right.
And she's like freaking.
Mask off.
Shout out to Future. She knocks his mask off, and she just like sees his like horrible looking face, and she's backing up, scared to death. And this is where Tommy goes. I don't know what you want to say. He goes nuts on this dude. He grabs the machete and just hits him right in the side of the head. And this is such a cool scene to me, where Jason falls onto the ground and his head, the machete is like deep in his head, and he just falls down on the ground. He just slides down the machete.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to hear you guys' thoughts before we get to the very, very last part. Brian, go ahead real quick.
Well, and I'll say that, talking about Trish, just before this, I actually read that the original screenplay had Trish actually being fondled by Jason and more like human and creepy, but obviously the director, nixed that idea, and thankfully.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say, good idea.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the scene works great, and I think it's really cool. I think it's even better than CG would do, how the knife slides down, on Jason, and have it. You could still see the right side of his face moving and stuff, and that's really top of the line effects for sure for that time.
Oh, absolutely, Mikey, what's your thoughts, real quick?
Okay, so context. I know this is called the final chapter. I want to kill off Jason. If you're gonna kill off Jason, this is good shit, pal. It's good shit.
Yeah.
So, no, I love the effects in this. Man, I know we just praised Tom Savini, but more praise to Tom Savini, man. His practical effects are just A++++. Especially that scene, and I'm really glad. I'm glad they didn't go with the fondling thing. That would have been terrible, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down. I can't remember who suggested it, but the director,
right?
The director was like, "No, we don't want to make Jason human. Like, we want him to be evil. We don't want him to be a pervert. Like, it takes away from his evilness."
Right.
Drew,
They put that in the documentary, the Crystal Lake Memories. There's like a decent little section about how they had to. It's not the only thing in that screenplay they ended up having to change, because they wanted to make, for whatever reason, Jason the whole time is like a little bit creepier instead of just this complete badass that he ends up being. Thankfully they did the right thing, because that's Freddy. That's literally Freddy.
Yeah. Drew, let me hear your quick thoughts real quick on just the before. It's not quite to the very end, but just this hacking to the head and them falling on it, because it's such a cool scene to me.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite. It's definitely probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. It's like Jason's Mike said, this is, the end of it. That's the perfect way to go out.
If they never made another one, that would have been awesome. I'm glad they did, because I like some of the later movies. But If they never made another one, that's a really good end to the Jason Voorhees character.
Oh, I agree. And Trish and Tommy, they're hugging. They're celebrating the what they thought death of Jason.
Right.
And Tommy notices that Jason's pinky is moving, and he notices it again, and he's like, grabs that machete. He jumps on top of him and just starts hacking him. Die. This is the most famous probably scene of the movie.
I agree.
He's just hacking. He's yelling die, and then you flash to Trish. He's yelling Tommy, and it's just this is probably a good 2 or 3 minutes of this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's long. Right.
I mean, the plan was really to kill Jason off in this movie. So I mean, this is the way to do it right here. You just hack, just
leave nothing
Tommy!
to chance. Leave nothing
no
to
doubt.
chance.
Leave no doubt. What are you guys' just thoughts on the last bit, this last scene?
So question. I don't know if any of you have it or because I don't remember, but the little wink that Corey Feldman gives at the end there, was that supposed to set something up? Or was it just like a aha or
Well,
whatever?
I mean, and that's where I got written that the ending kind of leaves you a lot like Halloween 4 did,
Little bit.
where is Tommy going to be the next Jason,
Yes.
which honestly I would have loved.
Oh, that would have been
way
great.
more. I would have loved way
Oh.
more than what they went with fake Jason in part 5.
That would have been so awesome.
I do like zombie Jason, just as good down the road. And actually, I'll tell you, Feldman actually pitched like a follow up. It would ignore all the sequels and it would only follow up after 4. And it's called like Jarvis versus Jason, where it's like he wanted it very true to part 4, and he wanted even Zito back to direct it and stuff. Obviously, with the whole lawsuit thing, we could talk a whole podcast on the lawsuit, but with the whole lawsuit going on, it couldn't happen. But yeah, I would be great. I would have been fine if it did set it up. I thought it would have been cool.
Yeah, man. I agree 100%. That's the most memorable part of the scene for me. I mean, I know the die and all that, but the wink, I forgot that's in there, and rewatching it twice, I'm like, man, that would have been it would give me Halloween 4 vibes, like you said. It set something up where Tommy Jarvis would become the killer. Hell, that would have been interesting. Way better than what they did in A New Beginning with
Roy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, part 5. Ugh.
Head scratcher. Totally terrible. Anyway,
I wrote down a few fun facts real quick. And I think we actually went through a lot of them throughout the review. I wrote down, one of the aerobics dancers was the girl who got killed in film number 6, got her head shoved in the RV. Ted, Brian brought this up. Ted White was 58 years old. He was the oldest to ever play Jason. The film was actually released on Friday the 13th. When it came out, April 13th, 1984. It's the last film in the series to pick up immediately where the previous film left off.
Right.
And I wrote down it had a $1.8 million budget. And I wrote down big shout out to Tom Savini for the special effects, because when you compare what this movie shows compared to film number 3 with that god-awful head squeeze and that awful eye pop out, Tom Savini deserves all the monies for this. And I wrote down that he did the Friday the 13th, the OG, Dawn of the Dead, Creep Show, and Day of the Dead. So he knows what he's doing. He did a great job.
And if you haven't, go after you get done listening to this podcast and go look up the design for Jason that Tom Savini did just recently for the Friday the 13th video game, where he actually designed a Jason that's back from hell, and it's actually really cool. He's got a pitchfork, flaming eyes, black mask. I mean, it looks really cool.
Oh wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Drew, what?
Oh no, go ahead, Drew.
Drew, you got any quick thoughts on just the ending or anything in particular that caught your eye in the movie?
No, the only thing I took for the ending is just like, the doctor come in there. It's like, oh no, you have nothing to worry about. Your brother isn't a psycho in waiting. It's totally normal how he went ham on Jason's head.
I know. I was thinking that too.
Totally cool. Just relax. He'll be fine. It's just a phase. No.
This guy's the opposite of Loomis. He's not trying to scare anybody.
Oh, at all.
But no. I think the ending really could have set up something cool. I'm repeating myself, but man, it gets me every time I actually end up sitting down and watching this movie where, oh man, the movie is really good. It's one of my favorite Fridays. It could have led into something really, really, really cool. and they dropped the ball. But as a standalone film, I really, really, really like this movie. And another thing, this came out the same year. I think it was before. This came out the same year as the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's already the fourth movie in this franchise. And so I think a lot of people forget that this is the same year, like the end of Jason, and then bam, Freddy came on the scene. And it was almost so. I was watching Crystal Lake Memories. They talk about it a little bit where Freddy being so successful gave them the out to do Friday 5. They're like, whoa, people still because it kind of felt like the end, quote unquote, of the slasher craze, the early slasher craze, and then here comes Freddy Krueger, and bam, it's a moneymaker again. And then you get people over at the movie studios thinking, wait a minute, we don't have to necessarily bring Jason back as Jason. Here's Roy. It's like that stupid commercial where the Roy. Yeah. But I think that Freddy Krueger, kind of on accident, because they end up beating the hell out of each other later, kind of revived Friday the 13th. And so I think that these two movies kind of go hand in hand a little bit, where it looks like it's the death of Jason, but a couple months later, here comes Freddy. Nope, we're not going to kill Jason off after. Well, kind of. So yeah, I just thought that was kind of fun that they talked about that in the documentary.
And this might be a hot take, but to me, Part 5 would have actually been a decent movie if it would have been Jason.
Oh yeah, it would have been
Like,
yeah.
It's like, really? It's like the paramedic.
Well, here's the thing.
That was Jason the whole, like, oh man.
I'm okay with who done it. Like we've talked about who done it, like, and how that kind of makes for a really good film. I know we're getting into 5, but hell, we might as well. I think that they could have done that really well. It just ended up being the paramedic. Okay, could have literally been anybody else, and it ended up being the paramedic. So, thumbs down on that.
Y'all want to jump into our favorite kills and least favorite kills real quick?
Right. Let's do it.
Sure.
I'll go first. Obviously, I've already said it. My favorite kill was Crispin Glover, Jimmy. Corkscrew to the hand. Ted, where's the corkscrew? Boom! It's in your hand, son. Then you catch the meat cleaver right to the face, and you get that little head twitch. Love it. And my least favorite kill, which I'm sure will probably be all of us, is Mama Jarvis off screen. You don't see nothing happen. She just dies.
Terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Completely lazy. I rated it a 9.
Okay.
And I wrote down it's the best version of how the first 4 should have been.
Right.
It has great kills. It has, I'll say, decent teens. I like Trish and Tommy. Tommy is awesome. Tommy, if Tommy sucked, this movie wouldn't have been good.
Agreed.
And
Sure.
and I wrote the special effects. Tom Savini was amazing in this movie to me. And Jason was good in this movie. I really like Jason in this movie. Like film number 2, Jason. They finally started showing some gore in this movie, and I like that a lot.
Right.
So I wrote down it's a 9. It's really good to me. And I'm a Jason stan, self-admitted. Go ahead,
okay.
Brian.
Okay, well, my favorite kill actually is the hacksaw kill from on Axel, and that's actually my favorite. I love how he comes around and how brutal it is, and then boom, snaps his neck. The worst kill to me is not that. I would actually rather him be killed off screen than laugh at the kill. So I mean, Rob's death, he's killing me, to me is just the worst. I mean, if he didn't have to say anything, it would have been fine. But to laugh and have my 9-year-old laugh at it,
That kind of takes it to a different level.
yeah, it
I
shouldn't be
agree.
the funny part. It's
Right.
tense, like,
You're dying.
Act, and yeah, no. Anyway, and I'll rate the movie. I'm gonna give it an 8. I know it's kind of low for what we've been doing, but I'm gonna give it an 8. And I really like it, especially for the Jason movies. It's ranked high. I'll give you that on my rankings.
Right.
That's fair. Go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, my favorite kill was the nurse. You know, it was just, I don't know, I loved it. Pin, zip, unzip. It's great.
A lot of gore, good gore in that.
I
Kill.
mean, it's just great. I
Right.
loved it. And it was right off the bat. Kind of got me pumped up. Got the juices flowing right off the bat. And then I'm with Nico. The off screen one. That one or when she throws old boy toy out when he throws boy toy out the window. That's those two are my like least favorite. And as far as rankings, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I just don't. The only reason I'm giving it a 7.5 instead of an 8 is I don't think the movie translates as well as some of the other movies that we will review or we have reviewed. Like
Right.
I can watch this. Like I just don't feel the same. I didn't feel the same way at all watching this movie then. Like I was just. That's the only reason. If I think if it translated a little bit better for I mean this is a personal just for me. If it translated better to me, it would have been an 8.5.
Right. I'll
No hate
say
though.
no. Oh, absolutely not. It's definitely one of the better Friday movies. I'll say my favorite kill is the hacksaw kill that Brian mentioned, and my least favorite kill is the other, which is the off-screen Mama Jarvis. Which, by the way, Mama Jarvis in this movie can go to hell. I say that about one character in each movie, so she's my go to hell character in this movie. Although you could argue it could be Trish, but anyway. So, my rating for this is an 8. I'm entertained every time I watch this movie. It's never boring to me. Again, it's very 80s. And so I don't have any nostalgia for that unless it's done really, really well. And so that doesn't translate for me. But as far as my entertainment, it's always good. I always can count on it for good kills where I go, ooh, like even now, that's uncomfortable. And so there's a lot of that in there. And again, I'm still red-blooded American male that, there's some good TNA in this movie, man. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt its rating. I'm just going to be honest with you. And so I give it an 8. And then, by the way, that's a good rating. I only have, and I'm not going to give away my ranking, but I guess I will. I only got maybe 1 or 2 rated higher than that in the Friday series. So I mean, I have a sleeper in there, but anyway, I really enjoy the movie. Think it's really good. And by the way, if you've never seen this movie and you're listening to this review, shame on you, because I got some people, they commented, they're like, man, why are you guys starting with 4? I was like, see, you guys, you've got to understand, this is where you should start.
Exactly. Yep.
It really doesn't make any sense for you to watch the other 3. This is the movie that got the Jason character going. I know they wanted to kill it off, but no, man, this is actually the birth of what the Jason character should be. And I think it's played really well. The portrayal of Jason is great. And I think the teens are better than the other teens that we've seen so far in the first 3 movies. And so, like we've said, this movie gets the Friday formula that you kind of get a little tired of, but it gets it right. It does it the best. So I give it an 8. I almost gave it an 8.5 because I forgot how much I love the unintentional comedy, the "you dead fuck," the Crispin Glover dance. Like I love.
You're killing
all,
me.
You're killing me. I love the unintentional comedy, but it's an 8, and that's not a knock on it at all. It's
No.
still a really entertaining movie.
No, and eight's a fair ranking. I mean, this is what I will say about Friday the 13th is Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, great original movies, great starts to the franchise.
Right.
To me, Friday the 13th being number 1.
Oh,
It
this is
don't
Like
make sense for me.
like Mike said, it didn't even start until 4, in my opinion.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
for me
When I
the
was younger
franchise.
and I used to
Right.
watch them, it was
Right.
4, 5, 6, and 7. Those were what I would
Right.
watch in order.
To me,
I don't hate 3 personally. I don't love 3, but
no.
I
I
can
mean
watch
3.
3.
Right. 3 is
3 is
watchable. Right. Right. 3 is watchable. 4 to me starts my binging. Like I've got to the point where I skip 1 and 2. I might watch 3 if I'm like, all right, start here. But 9 times out of 10, if I ever binge these movies, I'm starting at 4. There's no need to go back because this is where the Jason character really kind of takes off. Even though 5, you don't get real Jason, but after that, it's full balls to the wall. You get zombie Jason down the road, and it's just like. So again, this is for you people who don't understand why we're starting here, and you didn't see this movie, and you just listened to our show. Thank you for listening. But go watch this movie. Start your franchise or your foray into the Friday the 13th franchise with this movie. Highly recommend.
Yeah, if you do want just a brief synopsis of the first 3, just go on Dead Meat's YouTube channel and watch the kill counts of 1, 2, and 3. They're like 7 or 8 minutes apiece. It'll catch you up on all you need to know. I will say film number 3 has one of the funniest kills to me when he harpoons the girl in the eye and just puts the harpoon down and just walks away. Just all nonchalant. Like, I just shot this girl in the eye and I'm just going to put this harpoon down. That kill is hilarious to me. But, yeah, I guess, that was Jason, my favorite character, my favorite horror movie slasher of all time. I love Jason, and he only gets more and more badass to me as the series goes on. The next episode, episode 5, we're actually going to move to the 2000s, and we're going to be reviewing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake 2003. And I think all of us are looking forward to this one. I really like this movie. I'd have to rewatch the original again, but I think I like it better, even though they're two totally different movies.
I'm gonna save my take. For the pod. By the way, as far as the way we've started this is our 4th episode, right? Not included the bonus. Okay, so the first 5 movies we watched, all watchable movies, all really good movies, all entertaining movies. So go out of your way to watch all 5 of them. At some point, we are going to have to cover a shit movie, which, by the way, I nominate Freddy's Dead. Just want to completely have a whole episode of shitting all over that movie. Yeah, so that'd be a lot of fun if we could ever do that. But no,
we just got through watching the shit.
I meant down the road when we start doing bad movies. Got to go Freddy's Dead. No, you gave it higher rating than I did. You dead fuck.
I thought you were calling this movie a shit movie. I was like, man, come on, man. I was
I'm never gonna talk. See, that's the thing. I've never. There's not one horror movie that I would just like shit on.
Oh, I will. Freddy's Dead. Here we come.
I love them all. I love them what they are, not for what they aren't.
Ooh, Freddy's Dead. I'm shitting all over you.
Freddy's Dead's fine with me because I can't even watch Jason X, so I'm completely
Wait
fine
a
with that.
damn minute.
I don't actually think I've even seen it, to be honest. I ain't even gonna lie.
It's trash.
You're gonna shit on Jason X?
Oh, it's trash.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, we'll do it.
Okay. No. Yeah. Let's save it. Okay.
We'll save it.
Okay. Sorry.
Brian, you got any quick final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, I just appreciate everybody that listens, and please rate us 5 stars on iTunes, and all the feedback you guys give us, we love. We appreciate it if 2 or 3 people listen, much less all the followers that we've gotten. So thank you.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, we'll end it on this. Hey, go check the pinned tweet on the at Don't Go Out There Twitter account. I'm doing a giveaway. I think we need 15 more followers, maybe. I'm giving away 4 DVDs for just to appreciate you guys listening and following and interacting with us. But like I said, episode 5, we're going to be doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, and all of us are looking forward to it. Go ahead, Mike. Close us out.
One quick little thought or a little nugget. They wanted this final chapter to have 13 kills. They accidentally gave it 14 kills because Jason dies in the end.
Oh, okay.
And so it was supposed to be 13 kills, and then so they're going through posts, and they're like, yeah, we did it, like we got the number that we wanted, and someone goes, guys, Jason dies 2, and they're like, shit, maybe no. So I always thought that was kind of funny, like what they were going for ended up being one more. I just thought that was kind of funny. Sorry.
No, that's cool. Hey, we appreciate you guys listening, and send us any feedback you got. We really, really do appreciate you guys taking your time out to listen to us, and y'all have a good one. We'll be back for episode 5.
You're killing me.
It's a good way to go out.
It is.